If you're over 50 and you masturbate, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, do you really know what it's doing to your body? Is it actually healthy after 50? Or are you just guessing, worrying it might be causing silent harm you can't see? I'm Dr. Cole, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience listening to men's most private concerns. And I'll tell you straight, this is one of those topics hardly anyone explains clearly. You don't hear about it in routine checkups. You don't see the truth on prescription labels. That's why millions of men over 60 are left figuring it out alone, curious, embarrassed, and a little afraid. Here's the truth. Masturbation at this age is not as simple as it was when you were young. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything most people won't. I'll give you the clearest, most honest picture, based on science, of what really happens to your hormones, your prostate, your ability to get and keep an erection, and even your relationship when you're stimulating yourself after 60. And at the end, I'm going to share with you the real secret about masturbation, the things so many of my patients wish they'd known sooner that could have saved their energy, their confidence, and their sense of manhood. Don't miss it. This might be the single most important conversation you'll ever hear about men's health after 60. Before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, so what's the truth? Masturbation after 60 is not as simple as it was at 20. It can be your friend or your enemy. I don't want you to see it in black and white. I want to give you the full picture so you can look at it from all angles. This isn't about encouraging or forbidding it. It's about helping you make smarter choices for yourself. That's why I'm going to walk you through 10 surprising benefits of masturbation as you age, 10 potential risks you need to watch for to keep it healthy, and finally, 5 masturbation secrets every man over 60 wishes he'd known sooner. Let's start with the good news. First, it maintains the health of your penis. Think of your penis like a soft tube lined with tiny blood vessels. When you're young, spontaneous erections and sexual thoughts keep those vessels open, flexible, and oxygen-rich. But as we age, desire often drops, and those spontaneous erections become less frequent. Those tissues start to stiffen and scar, like an old garden hose that hasn't been used in years. Masturbation isn't just stimulation, it's like physical therapy for your penis. Every erection is a chance to pump fresh, oxygen-rich blood in, nourishing and maintaining the tissues so they'll still respond when you really need them. This isn't scare talk, it's basic biology. Use it or lose it. Second, it strengthens your pelvic floor. After 60, a lot of men notice mild leaking when they laugh, cough, or even just stand up. They feel weak at the base of their pelvis, but don't understand why. But here's the thing. Orgasm is one of the most natural Kegel exercises ever designed. When you orgasm, your pelvic floor muscles contract rhythmically, strengthening the muscles that support your bladder and bowel, improving urinary control, and even helping erection quality. I often tell my patients with a smile, who says the gym is just for your arms and abs? This is your private workout for your pelvic floor. Third, it supports prostate health. Your prostate is a small but crucial gland that produces most of your semen. It isn't an endless reservoir. If you don't empty it, secretions can build up, stagnate, and contribute to chronic low-level inflammation, even abnormal cellular changes over time. A major Harvard study even showed that men who ejaculate more frequently, 21 times a month or more, had a significantly reduced risk of prostate cancer. You want to keep your prostate healthy? Don't let it become stagnant like a swamp. That's not a joke. That's real serious medicine. Fourth, it lowers the stress hormone cortisol. Who among us isn't stressed at this age? Money worries, grandkids, health problems, it all piles up. And as our bodies age, we actually produce more cortisol, the stress hormone that tightens blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and damages our cardiovascular system. Orgasms, even solo ones, are a biological off switch for cortisol. After orgasm, cortisol drops, heart rate slows, and blood vessels dilate. It's your body's natural, powerful pressure release valve without needing sedatives. Fifth, it releases a cocktail of feel-good neurotransmitters. Orgasm isn't just pleasure. It's a flood of healthy chemicals in your brain. Dopamine, the molecule of joy and motivation. Oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and comfort. Endorphins, your natural painkillers that bring relief and calm. It's a natural way to comfort yourself, especially if your partner is gone or life feels lonelier. It's your body's reminder. You're still alive. You still deserve to feel good. Sixth, it can be practiced for ejaculation control. How many men worry about finishing too soon with their partner, but they're embarrassed to train? Masturbation is your private, safe practice room. You can try start-stop techniques, learn to sense your point of no return, skills that are much harder to master in the heat of real intimacy. I once had a 67-year-old patient admit, "Doc, I never thought I could train myself at this age." But he did, and no pill teaches you to feel your body that way. Seventh, it improves sleep quality. After 60, insomnia creeps in like a thief most nights. But orgasm is nature's sleeping pill. After the climax, oxytocin and prolactin rise and cortisol drops. Breathing slows. Muscles relax. The brain shifts into rest mode. Many have given up sleeping pills once they understood and respected this mechanism. I tell them, your body knows how to lull you to sleep. Just let it. Eighth, it helps you notice physical health issues. When you touch yourself, you get to know yourself. Many men have found lumps, hard spots, or unusual pain thanks to this habit. I call it free home health screening. One patient told me he caught testicular cancer early because of it. Those are the moments I know my work matters. Ninth, it increases overall pelvic blood flow. Don't just think about the penis. Blood gets pumped throughout the pelvis, the prostate, bladder, and pelvic floor muscles. I compare it to regular watering. The soil doesn't crack, the roots don't die. Orgasms keep the whole pelvic area alive, healthy, and resistant to chronic stagnation or inflammation. 10th, it keeps sexual desire and your neural pathways active. Desire isn't immortal. If you don't tend the fire, it fades. The brain is the biggest sex organ, and it needs training. Masturbation keeps your arousal pathways from rusting, reminding your brain, I still want, I'm still alive. So when the real opportunity comes, a partner, a real embrace, you can respond not just with your body, but with your whole heart. You see, masturbation after 60 isn't just about a fleeting moment of pleasure. It's a biological tool that can deliver real, surprising benefits, from nourishing pineal blood vessels and protecting your prostate to releasing stress and keeping desire alive. And I don't want you leaving here thinking it's something shameful or taboo, but I also won't lie to you. If I stopped at the benefits, I wouldn't be doing my job. Masturbation is only truly helpful if you understand it, master it, and keep it within healthy limits. Like any powerful tool used wrong, it can turn on you. And this is the part many people don't want to hear, but it's the part I believe you need to hear because it can save you from private mistakes that so many men over 60 are making without telling anyone. Stick with me, because in the next section, I'm going to share 10 potential risks you absolutely need to know to make sure your masturbation habits stay truly healthy. I promise to tell it straight, with no sugarcoating, because your health and your dignity deserve that level of respect. First risk, losing sensitivity to real partner sex. One of the most subtle but dangerous issues is when masturbation becomes your own private, too convenient world. When you repeatedly stimulate yourself in exactly the way you like, the same pressure, same speed, your brain starts to program pleasure responses only for that style. This leads to something called desensitization. You lose sensitivity to real intimacy. You're with your partner, but your body doesn't respond the way you want. Your brain and penis get used to being alone, and a real partner begins to feel foreign. This is your reminder. Don't let convenience kill true connection. Second risk, physical injury to the genitals. Here's a truth people rarely admit. Many men masturbate roughly, quickly, and without any lubrication. The result? Microtrauma, tiny cuts in the penile skin, tears in the frenulum, and swelling. This isn't just momentary pain. Those small injuries are gateways to infection, and repeated damage can even lead to scarring or reduced sensitivity over time. Simple advice. slow down, be gentle, respect your body. Third risk, erectile dysfunction from habit. Many don't realize that ED doesn't just come from blood flow or hormones, it also comes from habits. If you can only get hard in one specific way, with your own hand's exact pressure, rhythm, or grip, your brain learns that pattern. With a partner, the pressure and rhythm are different, and your old reflex doesn't work. That's the real cost no pill can easily fix. A simple fix. Practice varying your technique, or even easier, slow down and focus on feeling instead of chasing a quick climax. Fourth risk, nerve compression from bad positions. Ever masturbated while sitting on the toilet or slumped in bed? You're not alone, but you might not realize you're putting pressure on the nerves in your pelvic area, especially the pudendal nerve. Over time, that pressure can cause numbness in the penis, pain in the perineum, and reduced sensation during real sex. It's a hidden hazard many men don't see coming. Advice: change your position. Find a comfortable spot. Don't rush or use positions that put your body at risk. Fifth risk, ejaculation issues. Endless, rushed, always the same masturbation can train your brain and nervous system into a single, rigid script that doesn't match real intimacy. The result? Premature ejaculation or lack of control. Or the opposite, difficulty finishing with a real partner. The body loses its flexibility. There's no shame in this, but it needs to be seen clearly and adjusted. Masturbation can be a practice if you use it to develop control, awareness, and not just race to the finish. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me make content that truly serves you. Sixth risk, addiction, obsession, and social withdrawal. This is the hardest one to admit, but I've seen it in my clinic more than you might think. When all your comfort, all your stress relief come from masturbation, it can become an addiction. You start avoiding going out, shying away from real connection, rejecting real people. It becomes an emotional escape, not a way to solve real problems. Masturbating when lonely is normal, but if it becomes your only way to feel okay, it steals your real life from you. Seventh risk, using it as an unhealthy emotional escape. You're sad, you're angry, you're anxious. Instead of facing it or finding real solutions, you soothe yourself with quick pleasure. It seems harmless, but over time, it robs you of the ability to face your real feelings. Every stress just gets buried instead of resolved. Masturbation can be a tool to relax, but it's not a magic cure for all the wounds inside. Eighth risk, guilt and shame. How many older men still carry silent shame? They believe they're dirty, immoral, wrong for touching their own body, because that's what they were taught as kids. This guilt doesn't just mess with your mind, it warps pleasure itself, making it anxious, obsessive, or joyless. It steals the natural gift that nature gave you. This isn't your fault. It's the legacy of harsh, rigid teaching. It's time to let that go and understand. Caring for your own body is not a sin. Ninth risk, pelvic congestion and discomfort. Here's a paradox few think about. Not ejaculating at all can cause fluid buildup in the prostate, but too much can also cause heaviness and aching. Some men masturbate many times a day, almost compulsively. The pelvic area becomes overly sensitive, muscles tighten up, and blood vessels get overworked. Result? A constant dull ache or heavy discomfort. The answer here is balance. 10th risk, impact on semen quality. This one matters, especially if you still want children, or simply want to maintain healthy vitality. Frequent ejaculation in a short time can temporarily reduce sperm concentration and semen volume. Studies suggest taking 2 to 5 days between ejaculations to optimize quality. This isn't about forbidding anything. It's about understanding so you can choose wisely. And that's the truth. Almost no one says out loud. Masturbation isn't your enemy, but it's not a miracle either. It's a tool, and how you use it will decide whether it's medicine or poison. I don't want you to stop. I want you to understand, so that the next time you touch yourself, you know you're caring for your body, not harming it. And if you're still listening now, stay with me, because next I'm going to share 5 secrets older men wish they'd learned sooner about masturbation. These aren't just facts. They're the hard-earned lessons I've learned from thousands of conversations, quiet confessions, and even tears of regret from men in their 60s and 70s who looked at me and said, "I wish I'd known this sooner." I don't want you to have regrets. I want you to be in control. Listen carefully. These are 5 truths about masturbation that men over 60 wish they'd learned earlier. Secret 1. Mindless masturbation can lead to numbness and erectile dysfunction. A lot of men think masturbation is a simple instinct. Get aroused, do it, finish. But that mindlessness is the real danger. When you do it without paying attention to posture, pressure, or speed, you're literally training your brain and penis into a mechanical reflex. Research shows that if you always use the same intense, fast, hard method, your brain rewires your nervous system to expect only that. The result? When you're with a real partner, it's not enough, not hard enough, not long enough. I've seen so many men come in with ED, and when we dig deep, the root is years of unconscious habits. Masturbation isn't bad, but it has to be mindful. Slow down, feel it, mix it up. Don't turn it into broken programming for your brain. Secret 2, sexual activity, even alone, stimulates testosterone. So many older men believe, "I'm old, my hormones are dead, there's no point." But they're wrong. Science shows sexual activity, even solo, stimulates the brain pituitary testicle axis to increase testosterone production. In other words, if you give up entirely, you're sending the signal, "I don't need this hormone anymore," and production drops. You don't have to force yourself every day. But keeping things alive, even alone, tells your body, "Keep making testosterone, I still want it." This isn't just about biology, it's about manhood. Secret 3, shame about touching yourself. Silently destroys your mental health. Some men carry 60 years of shame, old school education, old messages telling them that touching themselves is dirty or wrong. I've sat with men who teared up, admitting they'd never been honest with themselves. They lived believing they were bad, sinful. The problem is that shame doesn't just live in your head. It corrodes your self-respect. It chokes off natural desire. It builds distance with your partner. I'll say this plainly. Touching yourself is not a sin. It's self-care. It's connection. It's your body's way of saying, "I'm still alive." Letting go of that shame is the first step to reclaiming your confidence as a man. Secret 4, erections work on a use it or lose it principle. A lot of men stop having sex or masturbating because they think, "I'm old, I don't need it anymore." But they don't realize that erections are a biological function that needs practice. Blood vessels need to stay open. Erectile tissue needs to be filled with oxygen-rich blood. Nerves need to stay active. If you let it fall asleep, those blood vessels narrow, the tissue becomes fibrotic, and your erection reflex weakens over time. Masturbation, done right, is physical therapy for your penis. It keeps you ready. It keeps the system working, so that when the real opportunity comes along, you're not left frustrated. Remember, if you don't use it, you lose it. Secret 5, porn changes your brain. This is something few people want to admit, but science has proven it. When you watch extreme porn, your brain is flooded with dopamine, creating unrealistic expectations. You get used to perfect angles, exaggerated sounds, and impossible scripts. Then, when you're with a real partner, it feels flat. You lose arousal. You fall into the trap of, "I don't feel anything anymore." It doesn't just kill sexual excitement. It kills the real emotional connection with a real person. I'm not saying you have to ban it completely, but understand its effect. Use your own imagination, your own memories, the things that connect to your heart. Let me say this plainly, not just your eyes. From the heart. I respect you. Because not everyone is willing to face this topic, especially after 60. I've met so many men who just nod quietly, hiding the sadness in their eyes, believing that getting older means the end of desire, the end of connection, the end of being a man. But let me be blunt. That's the biggest lie age and society have ever sold you. You have not lost your worth. You have not lost your right to want. Your body, even when it's tired, even when it aches, is the vessel that's carried you through countless storms. It still deserves care, touch, and the reminder that it's worthy. Masturbation is not something to be ashamed of. It's not childish. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can hurt you if you misuse it, or it can revive you if you learn to use it well. You have that choice. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, take away that choice. I've sat across from so many men who broke down crying when they realized they weren't broken. They just hadn't learned how to care for themselves in the right way. I've watched those same men stand up, straighten their jackets, hold their heads higher, and walk out of my office as different men. That's what I want for you. Not just to be stronger physically, but to live honestly with yourself, to connect deeply with the person you love, and to be proud of who you are. Because being a man isn't just about getting an erection. It's about the capacity to love, the ability to care, the courage to live fully. If these words resonate with you, stay with me. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because I promise I'll keep sharing the most honest, real, and practical guidance to help you live healthier, happier, and more fully, just as you deserve. Because it's never too late to love. It's never too late to live honestly. And it's never too late to take back ownership of your life.